everyone, my name is Ada. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are not new here, welcome back. Since fall is finally here and winter is right around the corner, I figured it was time for another makeup tutorial because the last time I did one was almost 2 years ago, and it was at the end of spring, start of summer. My makeup changes depending on the season. My summer routine wouldn't hold up in winter. My winter routine is like too much for summer, vice versa. No one asked for those. Not a single person. But you're getting it anyway. Today I'm going to show you my everyday makeup routine, this routine that I do the most often, and give you my little tips and tricks to have your makeup look flawless and stay all day. So the first step is brows, and I've thankfully been blessed with pretty nice eyebrows. They are very full, and I have created the shapes that I like over the past few years. They used to be way thicker. The main product that I use is the Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Auburn. I just go through, starting at the middle of my brow to the ends, and I just fill them in a little bit. Then I like to go in with my Kosas Brow Pop Dual Action Defining Pencil. This is also in the shade Auburn, and I just sort of use this to extend the tail of my brow and define the shape a little bit more. Once that is done, as the final step, I just take my Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel and I just put this through the entire brow to make them stay in place, let's say. Actually lied, that's not the last step of my brows. The last step is to carve them out a little bit, especially the arch, or what little arch I do have. So I just take the Dior Forever Skin concealer in the shade 0N. Don't ask why it's so messy, one of my other concealers exploded. And then I just take this little flat brush and I just go, and I really concentrate right where the arch is because that tends to be the messiest area. Okay, now the brows are fully complete and it is time to move on to the base. One of my top tips that I can give anyone if they're struggling with their base makeup is underpainting. And basically it's just doing your contour, your blush, your concealer underneath your foundation or whatever main base product you're using. The key to this though, I should mention, is using liquid or cream products. It doesn't really work with powder products, obviously, since foundation is a liquid and you don't normally put liquids over powders. For me, the contour that I've been using recently is the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Amber. This is my favorite concealer. It's the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Yogurt Drops 1.5B. This is in fact the concealer that exploded. And now that it looks like I have a beard of concealer on, I am going to take my foundation, and the foundation I use in the fall/winter is the Clio Kill Cover, the new Foundwear Cushion, and this is in the shade 2 BP Lingerie. If you do have drier skin, I would recommend this one. This is the rom&nd Bare Water Cushion. Mine is in the shade 02 Pure. This one doesn't have very much coverage. This one provides very minimal coverage. This one's a medium coverage. So if you want something similar to this coverage-wise, Clio also has a water cushion similar to this, but it has more coverage. During the fall-winter months, it's this bad boy right here. Next step is nose contour. And I do it in 2 steps. I do highlight first, and I highlight with a concealer, and then I go in with the actual contour. A tiny little dot right at the end, and a little line right at the top. I do 2 little lines at the bottom of my nose, and I do 2 lines at the top, like that. A brush like this, perfect for nose contour. I take a liquid blush. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Puff. And if you, I just do 2 dots, one right there and one on the other side as well. Now it's finally time to conceal the under eyes, and I'm gonna go back in with my Huda Beauty concealer, and I draw 2 lines. I draw a line right here, or a little dollop right there, and then a little line on the edge of my eye. And I like to let it sit for 20 seconds before I blend it out. My other trick is to have your setting powder ready so that as soon as you blend it out, you can set it. Because the quicker you set it, the longer it will last without creasing. also take a little bit of this and I go where my smile lines are just because they tend to crease really fast. So this is the finished base. This is how it's looking so far. I think the skin looks so good, so healthy. For bronzer, I use this Jouer bronzer duo in light to medium, and it comes with 2 shades in it. Then I go and I powder my entire face, and for that I use the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush. Oh, that's a nice name though. Charlotte, take that, but credit me. Send me some product. Charlotte Tilbury airbrush flawless finish skin perfecting micro powder, and this is in the shade 1 Fair. I basically use this all over my entire face except for on my under eyes because it's not like a heavy loose setting powder. It just sort of tones down the shine a little bit and helps set the product in place without being too heavy. Yes. Oh my god, this is a relic. Next up is the eyes, and for my everyday makeup, I tend to keep the eyes very simple. I do a mixture of the matte brown and the sequin brown, and I sort of just like tap willy-nilly. It's never the same. For the lid, I go in under the aura section and I use the metallic shade right here. Last of the eyeshadow, basically besides liner, is I go in under the aura and I use the matte shade right here. And I put that right on the inner corner because it really brightens up the eyes. Now I don't do this next step on a daily basis, but today I feel like it because who doesn't love glitter and sparkle? But I take this liquid glitter. This from Peri Para. This is their Sugar Twinkle liquid glitter in the shade 1. I go from like right here. I go and basically line like right above my crease. Oh my god. Next up is eyeliner, and we're gonna dip back into the Tati Beauty palette, and I just take a really thin angled brush and I dip into the memory section into the matte black. Next up is blush, powder blush, and I am a blush whore. My favorite blush right now, I talked about this in a recent video, is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush Duo, and this is in the shade She's Giving. If there's one thing I can tell you about this blush before I even put it on is that you need to be light-handed. A lot of blushes tend to be very light and not show up, so you have more room to like build it. Not with this one, baby. And then whatever's left on the brush, I just take and I rub on the bottom of my nose. I really like that like cold look. Then I take a damp beauty sponge and I dip into the cream shade. You can be a little bit more heavy-handed with this one because it doesn't show up as much. I dip in like 4, 5, 10 times. I just go over. This is a Patrick Ta hack himself. I know a lot of people are like, you can't put creams over powder, but this, the look it gives you, oof. Then we're gonna go with highlighter. This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter duo in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I've had this for years. As we can see, I just take a little pencil brush and dip into the lighter shade of the two, and I dip in and I just go on my nose. I do the tip of my nose. I take a little bit and I go right on the bridge of my nose, the brow bone. I do the inner corner of my eyes, do it around the eyeliner, not over top of it, and I do a little bit on my cupid's bow. I take a highlighter powder. This is the Dragun Beauty Transformation Face Powder. There's a pink shade and a yellow shade. I normally just dip into like a mix of the 2 shades like that, and I do the center of my face. So a little bit on the chin, a little bit on the cupid's bow, a little bit in the center of the forehead. Now that the under eyes are fully done, I go in with this dual-ended brush and I dip back into the sequin brown shade, and I just drag this under the eye, stopping right under the middle of the eye. We are almost done, but the next step is lashes, and I talked about these in a recent video too, but these are the Jasmine Lee Doe Beauty lashes. They are so nice. I cannot stress this enough. Get a pair of thin tweezers like this, or just tweezers in general. It makes applying lashes so much easier, especially as a beginner. Check the facts, go check that. Check the facts, go check that. Check the stats, go check that. While the lashes are drying, I have one last step that I like to do to really tie all my makeup in together, and it is more blush. I take this rom&nd Better Than Cheek blush in number 2 Bainnude, and it's this super pale pink. I go right on the apples of my cheeks. It helps to blend out the rest of your blush, and it creates such a nice like little effect. Let me show. Okay, for lips, I have 3 products. I have the rom&nd Dewy Full Water Tint, and this is in the shade 11. I have this Marc Jacobs lip pencil in the shade Sugar High, and then I use the Say Beauty Glossy Bounce lip gloss oil in the shade Bounce. We are done with this tutorial. Voila, here is the finished look. This is what I do on a daily basis when I'm going to school, if I have time to do makeup for work. Ooh, bitch, I'm hot. In both ways, in every way of the sense. That is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed this makeup tutorial. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. All my social medias are also in the description: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It would mean a lot if you went over and followed me on those platforms as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.